This week we're transforming an old formal living room into a multi-purpose room for a busy young family.
I don't know how we've gone this long without any doors in that room.
I've been helping homeowners improve their homes for a lot of years. They think it's intimidating, but it actually can be a lot of fun.
And we're here to help.
Good job, look at there.
Dad's the expert, but I've learned a few things along the way.
Practical, realistic home improvement information is what today's homeowner is all about. This 33-year-old home belongs to John and Emily Bass, who live here with their 3 children, John Finley, Ellie, and Shepard.
We moved into the house about a year ago to upgrade, just get a little bit more space.
We love the area. We live on a cul-de-sac, and we love our neighborhood.
We bought it knowing that we'd have a couple projects to
Just
do.
a few.
That's right.
The project we've been talking to them about involves converting the home's old formal living room into a multi-purpose room for their young family.
This room has so many possibilities, I feel like, but right now there's really no organization to it at all.
So really, what would be the ultimate goal for this room?
Right, so we're not using it as a formal living room, as you can see, but we got 3 kids and we homeschool. And so when we bought the house, we thought, hey, here's a big room we can use for the play area, for homeschool. And in that corner over there is an office. She's got a photography business.
So we got homeschool, playroom, home office.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
All of those things
Asking
in
a lot.
one room.
Have you thought about folding doors or any type of door along here?
Yeah, we'd love some sort of maybe sliding door or something to be able to close this off so that if the kids are playing and there's toys, it might not be the first thing that you want to see when you have guests over.
Right.
Anything to hide the mess. In our old house, the mess that comes with kids, it kind of spilled over into all the spaces. But now we'd love to be able to contain that to this area.
It's a dark room. There's not a good light in here.
It's got some outlets that are controlled by a light switch, but nothing that we can flip on and hey, there's an overhead light up above.
So you think maybe a little school setting would be kind of cool?
Definitely,
absolutely.
definitely. I'd love somewhere to sit with the kids while they do their projects and while they work.
Do you still need the couch for your naps?
No.
Maybe we'll keep that while we're here.
Yeah. So in addition to the schoolroom materials, we'll add an overhead light and a pair of sliding doors to enclose the space.
Hey, welcome back.
All right, you ready?
When we return to start work, we begin by clearing out the room.
I'm very scared of what they're going to find. Toys, Cheerios, we're probably going to find lots of different things.
This isn't a sleeper sofa, is it?
It's
No.
not.
Good.
It is, if you lay on it and go to sleep, then it's a sleeper sofa. To me, every sofa is a sleeper sofa.
Of course it is, yeah. What's behind it? Oh, wow, look, there's another child there. And some animal. There's money.
Oh, good. Look at all the toys.
And a gold ring.
We have found some old sippy cups before with milk in them, and you tend not to find those until you smell them. So anybody that's got kids, I'm sure they can appreciate that.
All the lost toys. Maybe we can just put all this in a bag and save it for Christmas. Guess it would save some money.
Gosh, that's not bad at all. Oh, we should act like it is. Oh, oh, my back. Good guy. That's a good guy right there.
Uh-oh. The fish on my back, Danny pulled the old trick. Hey, buddy, how you doing? It's kind of obvious it was there, but strange thing, it ended up on his back somehow not too long after, but these things tend to happen.
With the space cleared, we can start our first project, getting things organized with some cubicle storage.
With any DIY project, it's a balance between spending time and money to build something versus buying something that already exists. So in this case, it just made so much more sense to buy the cube organizers off the shelf. We have 4 of these units, and they're all the same size, and we'll turn 2 of them horizontally on the ground, and then we'll have the other ones going vertical on either end was the idea. So that gives us a little less than 4 feet. So what we were thinking was that you would have the chalkboard in the middle right there.
Okay.
And then we were also thinking about adding this next to the chalkboard. But that would cut your chalkboard space in half. Is that enough chalkboard space is the real question.
Yeah,
Because we can spread these apart and make the board bigger.
No, I think that's gonna be plenty.
Dun, da, da, da. I loved school so much as a kid that during summer vacation, my sisters and I played make-believe that we were teachers. It was a good time.
A pair of bypass loppers like this is the perfect tool to trim tree branches, especially branches you can easily reach, like this one right here. But what happens when you want to trim a branch that's 10, 12 feet in the air? You can't easily reach it with this, but you can extend the handles with a PVC pipe. Go out and buy a 10-foot length of PVC pipe and cut it in half, then simply take the handles of the lopper and slip them inside the pipe. This happens to be 1 1/4 inch diameter pipe and it fits perfectly. And you can see you can very easily just extend the handles. There's no need to tape it. You could tape it, I guess, or put a screw in there, but I found it's not even necessary. And now you've got 5 feet of reach. You can go up and easily trim branches that you could only reach if you had to bring out a ladder or something, but there's no reason to do that. Just snip the branch, and there you go. And now, because the loppers weren't screwed or taped in place, you can very easily pull them out of the pipes and now go and use them to trim some low branches.
We're helping John and Emily convert their home's formal living room into a multi-purpose room for homeschooling, a playroom, and a home office. So, of course, we need a school table.
Nice!
Found this table on Facebook Marketplace. It was only $50 for the table and the chairs.
Oh, this is gonna be perfect.
And I know you may just absolutely love this fabric.
Yeah.
The table and the chairs were the right size at the right price, but that fabric, ugh.
We're definitely gonna have to recover that.
After a little sanding, the top of the table is ready for a new coat of stain. Then John and I start work on a combination chalkboard and corkboard. We're cutting the chalkboard from a piece of 1/2-inch medium density fiberboard, which John coats with chalkboard paint. Then we begin creating a frame to combine it with the corkboard.
I would nail all of this together, but it'll be a lot easier to sand, I think, individually. And all you need to sand is just the edge that's been ripped.
It's okay, gotcha.
I'm not sure how many of these chalkboards and corkboards like this I've made for a home school. I admire you and Emily for taking that task on.
Yeah, it was not a decision we came to easily, but we felt like for this year, time of life is the best for our family, so it's been good so far.
I don't think I could do that. I wasn't that great in school anyway.
Dad, you seem a little nervous about being in a schoolroom again.
School always made me a little nervous.
You must have gotten in trouble a lot.
Maybe a little bit.
You want to help? I try to take those opportunities as much as I can, but sometimes I'm focused on getting things done, but it was fun to see him eager to take this on. And of course, when presented with a piece of sandpaper or a sander, he's gonna pick the power tool. Really made a dad proud. You know, it's easy to say that, hey, he's young, he can't do this, but I think he's a lot more capable than I give him credit for sometimes. So it was a good moment. It was real special. What'd you think? It's fun.
While John Finley is getting a sanding lesson, I'm gluing together the storage cubicles to form one single unit, which means
We'll be able to attach it to the wall and put the corkboard and the chalkboard in place, and we'll be completely finished. But before we do that, they've decided to paint the walls, so we'll let them get a couple coats of paint on the wall, and we'll be able to assemble this thing in no time.
All right, in every couple, there's an edger and a roller. Who's who?
I'm gonna be the roller because Emily is better at edging.
I think I'm a little bit more patient when it comes to getting the edges.
If I was cutting in, I'd be the one to have to go back and touch up all the molding and baseboard. So I know my place. I know where I stand. The OCD comes out in me, and I want to spend too long on one spot. And
He goes way too slow, is what he's trying to say.
I'm just slow. That makes her better.
Well, you know, if you say so.
Well, I think old little John Finley did a pretty good job on the sanding.
I know, I'm impressed. I'm really surprised as much as I liked to play school growing up that I didn't become a teacher.
I know, I thought about that years ago.
My sisters and I would spend our allowance to buy teacher supplies like grading books and little name placards. So this is like living in a dream world.
once the chalkboard frame is assembled, it also gets a coat of stain. Inside, the electricians are here to add a light fixture to our multi-purpose room.
Wayne and Jeremy are in the process of finding the exact center of the room so that they can cut a hole this size for the light fixture to be installed. But you just can't let this thing float around in drywall. This is where the solution is. This actually will feed up inside. Then it tightens up to expand so that the little spikes go right in to the ceiling joist. While you're doing that, that has a magnet on it, and then this has a bracket that goes right over it so that this can even support a ceiling fan if they decide to put one in later on.
John and I are carefully removing the crown molding so the wire can be routed from the ceiling cavity into the wall cavity without removing drywall. We'll reuse this molding, so it's really important to remove the nails carefully.
All right, I'll tell you one mistake that a lot of people make, John, when they're taking molding down. They'll bang those nails out of there and it just blows out the front of this. So this is an old trick that works so well with pliers like this. Pulling the nails where you're supposed to pull the nails, cleaning it up really well. Yeah, that's the way it works. That's the way it works on my job.
It's like you know what you're doing. Look how grungy that is.
Yeah.
So I thought we'd get rid of the one layer and then add our fresh new fabric on top. I was really excited when we got to the store and they had white vinyl fabric.
Yes, I think it's going to be super kid friendly.
As I'm removing the top layer, I'm thinking it's just grease and grime that's making it yucky, but I take it off and realize that it's actually soaked through to the original cushion, so it's probably more like mold or mildew. So I'm gonna kill it at the source with this Wet and Forget indoor cleaner. So this will keep it from growing through our new fabric.
If you own a reciprocating saw, you know how many projects you can use your reciprocating saw for. If you don't own one and you're in a market, take a look at this one by Rigid. Now this is their 18-volt octane reciprocating saw model. Now it has a brushless motor. What does that mean? Is you're gonna get more power with that motor and you're gonna get a longer life for your battery. Now another feature of this particular model is look at this right here. Here's a dial and it says orbital. Because when you're using a reciprocating saw, you can either get short, straight cuts, which is perfect for, say, cutting steel. So I have it in the off position, but if I want the orbital, all I gotta do is roll it around to the on, and now my blade is going to strike in an orbital pattern, and that's perfect for a soft surface, say like wood, PVC, or plastic. Now another feature of this is, look, independent of the trigger, you have a light so that it illuminates your work surface, and there's actually a little blower in there so that when you are cutting, it's gonna get all of the debris off the line so you'll see it every time.
John and Emily's multi-purpose room is quickly taking shape.
It looks really good. You're not doing such a bad job.
While our electricians Wayne and Jeremy finish adding an overhead light, John and I get started on the display shelf for the children's books.
So some of these are solid and some aren't. What's going on
Okay,
here?
well, you didn't see the precise drawing. There.
Gotcha.
Now, it's crystal clear now, isn't it? No,
Oh, this way, okay.
yeah. So anyway, just a little display thing for all of the books, the picture books. This is a bottom, and this is a top over there. The notched ones are the center ones. And then to keep the books from sliding off, we'll just put this one piece there. We'll nail and glue it all together, and then you can put a beautiful coat of stain on it, and
Nice.
we'll be ready to go.
When the shelf is complete, Emily helps John apply the stain. She'll be a teacher in this homeschool room, but overhearing her talk about being a student herself raises a few questions.
I love to read, and I don't think I read anything I was supposed to read in high school. I'm too busy writing notes to you.
Emily and I, we met when we were in 9th grade and became friends pretty quickly, and then a little later, boyfriend and girlfriend.
I guess you could say the rest is history. We passed quite a few notes in high school, and it may have been a little bit distracting from our studies, but I think it was well worth it in the end.
Back inside, John and I reinstall the crown molding and try to position the storage cubes if we can find the center of the wall.
46 and 5/8.
46 and 7/8.
Good, that's good. You see how it sped up the whole process having 2 tapes instead of 1, and most important, you didn't have to do any math.
It's rude. I'm good at math.
Now we're ready to hang the chalkboard and the corkboard.
Just a weird cut in it.
The cut wasn't quite even.
Take it out, turn it around. Chelsea must have cut that. There you go.
Can't remember who cut it. I know it wasn't Chelsea though. It wasn't me. Yeah, I'm not sure who did it.
Oh well, it won't matter anyway once we install the frame on top of it.
You know, all this conversation talking about homeschooling and creating this kind of environment really makes me think a lot about my father, your grandfather, and him being an educator and some unique things that he did. My father has the distinction of enrolling the oldest student to ever go to public school. Aunt Susie Hartsfield started school, thanks to my father. She was 102 years old.
Oh my goodness.
She could not read or write, and her real goal in life was to write a letter to each of her 22 grandchildren.
Wow.
And before she died at 104, she accomplished that.
Wow.
All right, not too bad.
That looks really good.
Looks very magic eraser friendly.
Yes, we love those.
Okay, you get to do the next 3.
Okay.
Finally, we're ready to install the sliding doors over the cased opening to the room.
Now, you and Emily wanted this barn door kind of set up, so you see what we have ahead of us in order to make it work.
It's a lot of parts.
It is, and something that us guys don't like to do, read instructions. So I think we better dig in on these things.
All right.
Dad, hanging out this track isn't as easy as just hanging it on drywall.
No, you got to have something more substantial there to hold the track up. It's got to be able to, you know, sustain a pretty good bit of weight. Plus, you know those kids are going to be hanging on it, sliding back and forth and all that. So I may even try that in a little while.
I'm surprised you haven't already.
Once the track is level and secure, we can hang the doors
Look at that.
and add the accessories. Then it's time to install the display shelf.
I love storing children's books on a shelf like this because the books are so pretty. It looks nice when they're stored, but also the kids are able to pick out the books easier by identifying the picture on the cover.
The formal living room in John and Emily's house wasn't needed for a formal purpose. With 3 small children, the need was much greater for a play space, homeschool activities, and Emily's home office. Plus, the room lacked good lighting and a good way to close it off from the rest of the house. The addition of overhead lighting will make the room much more useful, and the sliding doors will allow the kids to focus during school time while John and Emily can hide the chaos of their playtime. The display bookshelf is both attractive and an encouragement for the kids to read often. Our secondhand table and the chairs cleaned up nicely for the kids' learning space, and the chalkboard, well, it just seems to make it official. And the cubicle storage system will allow Emily to keep the school materials and toys well organized.
I don't know how we've gone this long without any doors in that room. Ideally, it would always be picked up, but let's be honest, it's not always clean, so the doors will certainly help.
There's plenty of space to organize things. There's a good spot for the kids to do homeschool activities, but also, you know, just sit and play.
I know, I love the table. That's gonna be a really great asset to the room. It's gonna give us a good workspace, and the light. It's so nice to be able to have a light in there so that when the sun goes down in the afternoons, we'll have better light to continue playing in there in the evenings.
This front room, it's been a big one. It's been on our horizon, but just haven't quite known where to start. But I think that having somebody come in and cast the vision for it, it's really helped out a lot.
You know, I can't help but think when these doors are closed, school is in session. Now, I hope you enjoyed seeing how we were able to take a somewhat obsolete room, like a formal living room, and turn it into a very multi-purpose functional space that will definitely be used. This is a great learning environment. Hey, I'm Danny Lipford. Thanks so much for being with us here on today's Homeowner. We'll see you next week.
Never put one up. Sorry. I think I got him. Whew. Anyways.
Caulk and paint makes a carpenter what he ain't.
I know, I feel so cheesy.
I think I'm gonna grow a mustache.
Be sure to join us next week when we tackle the chaos of the garage. Everybody has one, and they all need some organization.
You're not mom in here.
Oh,
You're Mrs. Bass.
Mrs. Bass, how fancy.